I'm in North Korea right now, cause last week I was just making some delicious corn dog sushi in Japan, and before I could take a bite, I heard the nuclear missile warnings go off because Kim Jong-un was having a hissy fit, and I spilled my corn dog sushi because of him. But as I was hiding underneath the table about to be vaporized, that's when I realized North Korea is only 2 hours away, so I bought a Kit Kat cause Kim Jong-un needs to take a freaking break, and a ticket to North Korea, so I can tell him to stop doing that. Anyways, I went to the airport, and the plane was either on fire or someone just had a vape. But anyways, once I landed, I immediately got on this bus, and the soldiers boarded the bus and checked my documents, and then I was sent through this underground tunnel underneath the border, and then I emerged at Kim Jong-un's palace, and it was pretty cute for a warmongering dictator. I walked up to the gate and gave it a good old knock, but no one was home, I guess, so I was just walking around when I heard a security alarm go off. Then I scrambled to find a place to hide, so I ducked into this cubbyhole and hid there until they were gone. And then I snuck out into the bushes and spent hours trying to return to civilization, and I ate some blueberries that weren't blueberries. But hours later, I finally found my way out and decided to give up on world peace and just eat the Kit Kat because I was hungry. Sorry, Kimmy. Stop. I was enjoying some banana on the cob and scrolling through TikTok when I saw someone playing this Mario Kart in real life game. So I took my friend's credit card and ordered it. But when it came in the mail and I actually got to open it up and play it, the game was about as fun as listening to Ed Sheeran out of your own free will. So not fun at all. But you know what? It was okay, because I bought it for the only purpose of seeing if I could take it through a drive-thru and ordering something. So I strapped my credit card to it and a walkie-talkie so that I can order through the microphone. And I taped it to Luigi really good and then drove all the way over to Popeyes. And it was time to release Luigi and see if I could successfully order a fry. I set everything up, and then just like that, the little Italian was off. But as he drove up to the microphone, I didn't think they could see him, so at first I did some donuts to get their attention. And then as I was spinning him around, they were like... And I was about to tell them my order when I saw there was a car coming into the drive-thru. I panicked and grabbed my Switch to try and drive away, but it said it was disconnected, so I ran over to the drive-thru, and our favorite plumber Luigi was killed by a Mitsubishi. Anyways, the funeral is on Monday. Please comment your condolences if you would like to attend. I was eating some raw chicken sushi when out of the corner of my eye, I saw a furry and then another furry. So I got up to see what was going on and followed them, and then there was 10 furries and 20 furries and hundreds of furries, and I realized there was a whole furry convention at the mall I was at. But then I remembered I just didn't pay at the restaurant, and I heard them say on the intercom,
"To the man in the gray sweater, the police would like a word with you."
And I was like, Jesus Christ, I need to get out of here. But these furries were everywhere. And I tried to sneak into this dark warehouse, but there was a rave going on inside, so I found a door to the outside, but it was raining and had no exit and no hope until I saw someone's left behind fursuit on the ground with some stains in it. But I had no other way to escape, so I put it on to try and blend in and re-enter the mall and saw so many horrifying things and still couldn't find the exit and was getting actual heat stroke, so I decided to just turn myself in. So I went up to a cop and said, I'd like to turn myself in, and it was a damn Zootopia cop! So I just bolted out of that lawless wasteland and jumped over furries to find a fire exit and made it out and stripped down and threw my suit in the river! I can only fall asleep to loud noises, so tonight I played some mukbang videos on full volume. And I also tried blasting that one girl who goes, in all of her songs, and I was about to go to sleep like a baby when I heard a banging at my door, and I realized it was probably my insane neighbor who was literally named Karen. But when I got up and put clothes on and walked down to the door, there was nothing but an envelope that said, use these. So I brought it inside and opened it up, and she had sent me her nasty, crusty, earwax-covered AirPods that smelled like Fritos. And at first I was like, this is a human rights violation, and I'm probably diseased now. Until I saw the opportunity to suit up in a hazmat suit and rinse the brain caca off of them so that they look new, and then I could sell them to someone in my neighborhood for a profit. So I made a listing for like $150, and this one dude said he would buy it if I could meet him by the nuclear waste runoff. So I Ubered over there, and when I got there, I saw a bunch of money just sitting under some leaves, and I was like, that's not the safest way to do a transaction. But regardless, I just sprinkled the AirPods by it and then went home with $150 in like 4 different currencies. But it's okay, because I just ordered a bass-boosted speaker with the money from the AirPods. And when it comes to have a big old party and blast music with a speaker courtesy of Karen. Today, I threw away all my electronics so I could join the Amish and live a simple life. But after about 10 minutes, I got really bored of harvesting wheat and apples and wanted to watch a good old YouTube video. But I didn't have any devices to watch YouTube on, so I obviously walked over to the YouTube headquarters. And when I got there, I managed to walk right in, and I found an empty room with a TV in it so I could watch a few videos from my personal collection. Anyways, after I had cured my boredom, I left the room and raided the YouTube fruit counter and grabbed an orange and an apple and a DVD copy of the videos I watched. But when I finally got home, I realized I can't play this because I don't have a record player. But I looked around my room and saw an old radio speaker thing and popped the CD in it just so I could listen to the audio and imagine the video in my mind. But when it started playing, it sounded like it was coming from outside my house, and that's when I realized I had it set to broadcast. And I ran outside to see every radio in the vicinity was playing Every day I bike past this fenced-off neighborhood near me that's radioactive from a nuclear meltdown. But today I decided to explore it, so I went through a gap in the fence, and after walking for about 10 minutes, I got to this mysterious door in the middle of nowhere, so I did a little knock and let myself in and closed it behind me to be polite to the radiation. Anyways, I went down the stairs and saw, some interesting artifacts that I was not exactly a fan of. And I continued through the bunker and found a very inviting door that made me feel super safe, which led to more stairs that had my knees cracking like Rice Krispies. Anyways, I eventually got to this tunnel and some doors at the end of it that said danger, do not enter. But I went in because my middle name is Danger. Just kidding, it's Emil. And after I went through the door, it closed behind me and I tried everything but couldn't open it up because it was locked. So I decided to look around and see what my grave location was gonna look like, thinking maybe it's a movie theater or a game room. And I turned the lights on to see that it was an actual nuclear missile silo where they held the nukes. And it went 100 feet down, and now this is where I live, I guess. And my phone is on 1% uploading this TikTok, so if you see this, that's the last time you're gonna... I was enjoying some fresh strawberries when my doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone, but I went and answered the door anyways. No one was there, but whoever rang the doorbell had left an egg? It was covered in blue speckles and it was warm. But I decided right then and there, I'm gonna care for this egg until it hatches and be a bird dad. I made a little house for it by grabbing a box and putting grass in it. Then I set up a heat lamp so the egg root would be nice and toasty. But I was getting bored of waiting for him to hatch, so I decided to take him on a walk. Well, it was more of a roll. I taught Egbert how to skate and showed him to my dog, but then she tried to eat him, and I was like, after a week, my son started to get an attitude. He would just roll away from me when I was talking to him and then go play Fortnite all day. But then one day we started arguing because the place was a chicken coop, and I got so mad I stormed off. I started to feel bad, so I went to go say sorry, but he was gone. I ran outside and I looked everywhere for him. I checked the patio, I went and looked in the garden. I was starting to freak out when... Egbert? Today I was flying over North Korea and trying to sleep even though there was a baby screaming behind me because it shat itself. But what really kept me awake was a song started playing that plays in like all those plane crash TikToks. And then the plane started shaking and the seatbelt sign turned off. And the plane was shaking so much that it spilled water all over my no-no square. And I thought, if this plane is going down, I'm not about to be found dead looking like I peed myself. So I snuck into the bathroom even though it said seatbelts on. And I grabbed some paper towel and tried to dry it off. But it was shaking so much that I just went back to my seat. And that's when I realized the music was coming from the stupid baby behind me's iPad because it knocked its AirPods off from starting so aggressively. So I tried to lean between the seats to turn it off, but I couldn't reach it, so I called over the flight attendant and asked if we could just throw the child out of the airlock, but she didn't speak English and just gave me almonds. So I peacefully lost my mind for 7 hours, and when I landed I saw the most nasty little starter and chased after it because it left its iPad behind, but when I touched it there was literal baby food on it, and I dropped it and cracked the screen. And then I picked it up again to check if it was working and saw the lock screen, and it jump scared me and I dropped it again. Whoops! Hey y'all, I'm currently in the vegan teacher's basement, so I thought I'd give you a house tour. Here's a dining room table. It has "Don't Eat Cats" painted on it. Just a reminder if you're gonna do that today. Here are 2 fly swatters, which, I don't know if you can have that as a vegan, but whatever. Upstairs is the studio. That's her exercise bike. She also streams here by putting her phone on a tripod, which is a wooden block from Home Depot with 3 nails in it. And this is her schedule, which starts at 5 in the morning to wake up and eat blueberries and chia seeds. Anyways, kitchen tour.
This is me, by the way. This horse, the horse's name was Ben. Doesn't mean I want to ride you, though.
Oh. Her fridge has like 4,000 vegetables and a pepperoni stick, which is really interesting. Don't ask any questions about it, otherwise...
Actually, stop filming for a second.
Okay. Anyways, welcome to the backyard. Here's some propaganda and military-grade security systems that fire tactical rounds if it sees you eating meat. And that's the tour of the happy vegan home that I'm so happy to be in the basement of. Today I was in my car when I saw that the Amish were doing a pop-up shop, so obviously I had to go check it out because I don't believe that they're real. And when I pulled up to Simply Amish, I put my mask on because I don't want to give the entire colony the plague or something. And when I walked in, the employee was on a computer, and I was like, that's strange, they're not even supposed to have electricity. But I was walking around, and at first it seemed like a really expensive furniture store, and I was like, damn, these Amish are gonna be ballin'. But then I came across this door that was half open, which led to this scary basement that had all of these artifacts and paintings of Jesus, and then randomly a Rick and Morty chia pet, and some cards that I don't think are Amish appropriate, and then a Queen's Gambit board game, which... wouldn't that just be chess? Anyways, I felt the need to buy something so the Amish don't steal my organs. I got one of those popping toys where you put it on the ground and... Anyways, when I paid and got the bag, I noticed they slipped a key in it with a note saying, "Need escape?" And then some coordinates, which I looked up online and found out they lead to their colony. So I think they tried recruiting me, and let me know if I should drive up there and join them. Today, I'm gonna turn this big ball into a picture of my nipple. You see, I'm trying to get over my fear of having my pepperonis out at the pool, and you can pay to display anything you want on the Las Vegas Sphere. You just have to go up to this machine and pay $4,000. Don't worry, I'm reporting my card is stolen. And then it scans your own balls, and you have to agree that you won't display anything bad. And I said yes, because a male nipple isn't forbidden for some reason. So I gave it a USB that I'd loaded the nip slip onto the day before, and it told me to go outside and look. And just like that, it switched to my nipple. But I quickly realized that my nipple on a ball makes a boob. And then I came to a realization that there's really no difference, and if one can be shown, then all should be able to be shown, but if one can't be shown, then none can. It's a stupid situation. I witnessed an accident right in front of my eyes, and I'm not saying that it was boob related, but everyone was staring at it, and more cars were crashing, and it was creating quite a distraction, so I ran inside the Sphere to try and turn it off. So I scaled the stairs and tried to find someone to help turn it off, and I couldn't find any human employees except for these AI robots you're gonna interact with, and I told this one to shut down, you fucking tinhead! Shut down! Shut down! Please!
I wouldn't advise this. Disabling me will result in loss of primary power. You're all great stuff out there.
I was scrolling through the deep web when I saw an ad for a GoFundMe to get the Queen an air fryer before she dies. So I went to it and saw no one had donated. So I gave her $5 and went to bed. But when I woke up the next morning, I got an email that it was shut down by GoFundMe. And I knew the Queen still needs an air fryer, so I packed my bags and went to the airport to book the next flight to London to bring her an air fryer that I bought for her. And after 10 hours, I landed and Ben was in the Big Ben. So I took the train to the Buckingham Palace where she lives. But when I got there, they had it gated off and I couldn't go in to see the Queen. So I found another entrance with a flimsy little fence that I slid under, and then I popped over another fence, but that triggered an alarm. So I was running as fast as I could, and I happened to drop the air fryer, but I had to hide, so I managed to find the Queen's quarters and snuck in, and I thought I was safe until I woke up on some cliffs, on an island with nothing but a note on my arm that said,
Please, they won't let me air fry.
Elizabeth, I will save you. I was buying some pot, some green, if you know what I mean. I wanted a green pot because I have a plant that lives in a Ziploc, but I came across this perfect pot at the thrift shop, except it had the name Patricia on it, and I thought, oh, a pot named Patricia. It must be empty, right? Not. After I bought the pot and walked off the block, I saw Patricia was still in the pot that I had bought and realized it wasn't a pot, but an urn. When Patricia died, she was burned and then put in this urn and then got donated at this Goodwill location in Woodburn. But she was worth more than the $5 bill that I paid with at the till. I took her home and looked her up and saw she came from Brazil and worked at a bar called the Sawmill in Jacksonville. And on her profile was this beautiful hill. And it might be overkill, but I thought Patricia should rest there and not in the potting section at a Goodwill. So I picked her up, plopped her on my bike's sill, and rode my bike to the base of a hill and then pedaled to the very damn top of that hill where I would spread her ashes with all of my will. And Patricia took a little bit of a spill. Today I woke up on Mr. Beast's 35-foot tall inflatable minion that I tried blowing up the night before with my lung, but my asthma kicked in and I passed out. But anyways, last week he was like,
Hey Ben, can you make me the world's largest minion?
But I hung up on him because he's not despicable enough. He's like the opposite. He's like philanthropicable. But he called back and I was like, he really is despicable. And I agreed to do it, and ever since then I have been making sure this minion is perfect. So I got the whole factory to line up and take turns blowing it up so I wouldn't be the only one passing out. And I tried to fashion together a giant suit to fit him, but I ran out of fabric and... But finally he was ready. The only problem was when I opened my trunk and tried to fit his body in it, which usually it can fit a few of those, he didn't fit. So I had to ship him in a truck, but I wanted to be along for the journey, so I snuck in while the back door was open and rode in that boy across America until we finally stopped, and I opened the door and... Hey.
Hey.
I got your minion.
Just put it over there.
Okay. Today I texted my crush that I love her and want a relationship, and I felt like throwing up until she replied with, I'm in Lisbon. And then she sent the, Portuguese flag, I think. I don't know, I'm not good at geometry. But anyways, I wanted to surprise her, so I booked the next ticket to Lisbon, Portugal. So I packed up my stuff and went to the airport, and it was a 30-hour journey, but it was in the name of love. And when I landed, I realized I should probably get her something as a gift, so I walked into a store and came across these very interesting frozen feet in the freezer section, and I thought, who would want to suck on feet? Oh, me. So I bought them, and opened up the box and ate every last foot. And they tasted like strawberries. I don't know why I was expecting foot flavor. Not that that's what I wanted, but anyways, I got the bright idea to take all the popsicle sticks and make a little fun DIY bracelet out of them with hearts on it. So I did just that, and then the next day, I was gonna give my crush the bracelet. So I went to DM her and asked her to meet up and realized she said I'm a lesbian. I'm a lesbian. I wanted to go to Chili's today, but it was burning down. So instead, I went to go get sushi. But it was one of those places where it comes on a conveyor belt and you can take what you want, except for this piece of shrimp that refused to cooperate and wouldn't release. But it's okay, because they also have a screen you can order from. So I ordered myself some crispy rice, and it zoomed by faster than I could say, "No, officer, I had nothing to do with the Chili's burning down." Anyways, then I saw these nasty cubes that look like Minecraft gravel, and I lost my appetite. So I put all the plates down the chute since I was done with them, when I wondered what's actually in there. And it said, please don't insert hands or objects, but what did I do? Hit record on my phone and insert it into the slot, which was really smart because then I dropped it down into the chute and had to call over a waiter in shame, and he told me that non-plate items go out the garbage chute around back. So I went down this creepy corridor and finally found it, and when I grabbed my phone and sat down to check what footage I had recorded, I saw... I was making some pink sauce and pickles pasta and wanted some seasoning as a finishing touch. But I accidentally grabbed a jar of catnip thinking it was oregano and didn't notice until I woke up from a nap to meowing outside my window. And when I opened the door, I saw 40 cats outside my house, and I thought it was the greatest day of my life until I met this musty stray who smelled like Fritos, and he showed me this really cool trick called bite. And I thought, well, now I have rabies. So I scrambled to find someone to pee on the wound to neutralize it. But after that didn't work, I realized that's what you do for a jellyfish thing and not rabies. So I went to the pharmacy to see if I could find some medication for the bite, but I'm in Japan, so I just translated some medications and found this one that Google Translate says was rabies control. So I took it, and after a couple hours, my stomach started growing, and I realized it was babies control. And I was like, oh my god, the birth control malfunction made me fucking pregnant? Nah, I'm not pregnant, I just gained 10 pounds, So I was watching my local 7-Eleven burn down today when I saw a shirt or something in the bushes. And when I walked over, I saw it was a Walmart employee uniform that someone just left there. So I decided to try it on, even though it had a stain on it that looked like, milk. But that's when I got the idea to go to Walmart and see how long it would take them to notice that I don't work there. And I was just walking around in Walmart as a fellow employee. So the first thing I did was give myself a good employee discount on a few things I found. And then I was looking for something to do when I saw the phone for announcements just sitting there. And I was super nervous, but I picked it up and said, "Attention shoppers, everything is free for the next hour." And then I hung up and panicked and tried to find a getaway, and I saw the employees only area. So I went inside and it led me to an elevator, which eventually led me out the main entrance. And when I finally made it out of there, the security was outside with its flashing lights. So I quickly took off my uniform, threw it in the bushes, and ran. So I was completely legally watching a movie today when I won an iPhone 13. And all I had to do was enter my social security number, so I typed it in. And then a week later, while I was blending my candles together to make a mega candle, I got a notification that a package was delivered. So I ran downstairs to grab it, and the packaging was a little strange, but I cracked open the box, which apparently was for the iPhone 14. And then when I opened up that box, they had sent me a toy car. And I was like, I know I didn't just give away my identity for a Hot Wheel. Then I realized it's actually a phone. So I decided to hang up on the 911 operator that I had panic called, and I checked out my new phone, and it was pretty cool until I realized it was a used phone. And I think the previous owner was someone's grandma, because I saw in her text she wasn't just having booty calls, but a whole booty conference. Now, I didn't want this phone anymore after going into the images and seeing Granny's Milkies, so I picked it up one last time and checked her contact section and noticed she had her address on there. So I grabbed the phone and biked over to her house, which happened to be only an hour away. And when I got there, Granny is on her Jeff Bezos type beat. So I decided to put my name in her contacts, and then I threw the phone over the fence, and I'll let you know if I slide. So my dad loves mangoes, so for Christmas, I got him a single mango from Walmart as his Christmas present. But I couldn't just wrap it, because it would be obvious that I got him a mango like everyone else does for Christmas. So I grabbed my wrapping paper and I wrapped it as something completely different, then I put it under the tree. But a few weeks had passed and it started to smell really bad, and when I checked it, the mango had molded. So I had to throw the whole freaking present out and wrap a brand new mango. But I had run out of wrapping paper, so I got in my car and I drove back to Walmart, and I found a tube of basic wrapping paper. And then I pretended it was a sword, and I was swinging it around, but I accidentally killed a minion. Anyways, then I was bored in line, so I screamed into it like a horn and I said, "Arby's, we have the meats." Anyways, I got home and I cut up the mango. I grabbed a random DVD case and I put all the mango slices in it, but my dad's cat tried eating it. Ugh. And then I wrapped the Lego Star Wars for Xbox 360 disc case and put it under the tree. And when I woke up this morning on Christmas, I gave it to him. What? Today, I snuck an AirTag tracking device into an Ed Sheeran concert so that I could somehow stick it onto him to track him down, because that's for the FBI to know. Anyways, randomly BTS opened for him, and then Eddie was about to come on stage, so I had the genius idea to use an extra mask and fashion it into a slingshot so that when he performed, I walked up to the front of the stage, locked onto my target, and bam! It flew through the air, and now I know there's no way of it sticking to him. However, they have to pack up the stage, and it's probably gonna travel with him. So anyways, I saw Doja Cat and Lil Nas X, and then left the concert and went home. Then the next morning, I was getting a reading on the AirTag finder, and it said that he was in Las Vegas. So I flew to Las Vegas, and when I got to the airport, I thought I had already found him, but the thing is, I had a little bit of spicy grape juice on the plane, so I stumbled over to the man and shouted, "Ed!" And it was just a random man. So, yeah. Hello, I spent a week in Japan only eating out of vending machines, and I ate stuff like fish in a bottle. Let's try it. You are technically only supposed to drink the soup around it, but I wanted to free Little Nemo. But you have to break the bottle open, and the soup was alright, but I was more invested in sending little buddy back to his home. Just kidding, he clogged my toilet and I can't poop. Next, I went to a bread vending machine, where you could get this bread in a can. This is great if you've ever had the intrusive thought to eat the insulation out of your walls. Next was a banana vending machine, which is just bananas. Oh, fuck. Next, I got this vitamin C drink, which tasted good, but turned my pee green, and the cap got stuck to my finger, and I had to pry it off before it turned purple. But then I found an edible bug vending machine. So I bought a pack for $14, even though they live in my bed for free, and surprise, surprise, they were nasty. But as I ate them, this man walked in on me eating bugs outside his restaurant. And I am too scared to ever go back to Japan. 2 weeks ago, I saw a $35 inflatable frog costume, and I bought it because I'm sick of wearing a mask, and a frog costume covers everything. I was waiting for it to arrive today while seeing if banana peels would stick to my ceiling when the doorbell rang. I ran downstairs and saw that the suit finally came. First, I got my head stuck, but then I managed to get it on, and I was so happy, but I couldn't reach behind me. So I asked my friend to zip me up, and
Oh my gosh, you're too fat for it.
anyways, I finally had it on at least, so I was excited to hit the streets. I was walking around in the suit, talking to some friendly citizens, and dancing whenever I crossed the street, when I saw people lined up for something. What's this lineup for? Is this for ice cream? But the ice cream place didn't have any samples, so I kept freaking walking. Then I stared in the window of some shops trying to make eye contact with people until they got freaked out. And then I dropped some frog puns. What do frogs drink? Coca-Cola! But that's when I made a grave mistake. I was busting down a Nicki Minaj and throwing it back on a Tesla that was parked. When?
There's a person sitting in it.
If you want to see what happened to me, the link to the YouTube video is in my bio. Today, I made a New Year's resolution to stop filling up my gas car with diesel just because it's cheaper. Because last time I did that, it started smoking when I was driving back from the gas station and then eventually burst into flames. So I've actually failed my first New Year's resolution because now I have no car to fill up with gas and it's 40 grand to repair the garage from fire damage. But I can't go to the bank because I don't have a car, so I walked in minus 40-degree weather to the car store and bought an electric car with all the money I made selling human organs off the black market. And it's really cute and it looks like a ladybug, and I drove it home and found out I can plug it in with the same charger as my phone. So I grabbed my dog and we went on a little mini road trip for about 47 minutes when my car died, because apparently you can't charge a car with a phone charger. So now I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere, genuinely considering eating my Cheez-Its that I brought as a snack while I wait for the tow truck to come, obviously. My favorite thing to do right now is guess people's passwords of their social media accounts, because I've actually managed to successfully hack a few accounts. And I also enjoy changing some captions around without people noticing and tagging myself so people think me and Zendaya are besties. So today I managed to log into Shawn Mendes's account, and then I decided to DM some people some pickup lines like Olivia Rodrigo, which might have made me responsible for him and Camila Cabello breaking up, but anyways, today I wanted to get into Instagram's Instagram account to, I don't know, post a picture of myself or something. And then I remember the guy who owns Instagram is Mark Zuckerberg. So when I tried logging in with a bunch of different passwords and none were working, I realized it kept asking me if I'm not a robot. And since old Marky Poo is a robot, I left it blank and then boom, I was in, baby. And I was stressed about what I should post to like 400 million people, so I just chose this random picture of me at the beach, and now 500,000 people have liked it. So thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for the validation. Today I spent 9 hours painting Doja Cat, and it turned out so good that I decided to DM it to her. And she actually replied by saying, "It's terrific." And I was just in disbelief that she replied, so I screenshotted it as fast as I could and posted it on my story to show all my friends. But after she saw it, she DM'd me a picture of the front of my house and my birth certificate. And when I said, yes it is Doja Cat, I saw she mentioned me in her story, and when I looked, she had posted both of those images on her story, and I was like, Doja, why would you do that? And then she went live and was very angry at me, and the next next thing I knew, there were people banging on my front door. And then one of them threw something through my window, and I had no clue what it is, so I slowly approached it. But when I got too close, it started to fill my room with gas, and I heard on her live stream and she said,
"Careful of the tear gas, you're getting gas."
So I grabbed what I could and ran out of my house and saw a flyer on the telephone pole for witness protection. And I called them and had to throw away my passport and credit cards, and now I'm flying to New Zealand to start a new life. Thanks, Doja Cat. I was trying to sell my kidneys on the black market when I got an ad for Shein Eats, and apparently they sell food now. So I ordered some Mexican food because I was really hungry. But when it arrived, it came in what looked like a reused tissue box, and it had a fragile sticker, but it was looking more like a burrito bowl at this point. Anyways, I compared it to the picture in the ad, and it looked nothing like it. But the worst part is there was corn in it, and I'm allergic. And I was beyond mad, so I looked at the shipping label, and it said it was shipped all the way from China. So you know what I did? I was on that next flight to China, and after I boarded the plane next to the world's biggest Facebook mom with this suitcase, the food was actually pretty good, a little bit better than Shein's. But anyways, when I landed, I remembered it was the Olympics here in Beijing, so I decided to go to that instead of getting revenge on Shein. Happy Valentine's Day. Aww. I was drinking a vanilla bean frappuccino for the 4th time today because I found out you can get anything free from Starbucks if you make 365 different fake IDs with different birthdays for every day of the year. So each day I go to a different Starbucks and show them my ID and tell them it's my birthday. And they give me a free treat that would usually cost 4 kidneys. But sometimes when I pull up, they tell me they don't do free birthday drinks, but they don't know I know this trick. I actually go dumpster diving after hours, where they throw away all the garbage and Starbucks employees that want to form a union. And there's usually 1 or 2 uniforms in there. So I got this one, which had just a little blood stain. So whenever they deny me a birthday drink, I simply rip my jacket off and show them my employee uniform. And then they just let me go make whatever I want for myself for free. And it almost always works, but when it doesn't, and they say we've literally never seen you at this location before, why do you have blood on your uniforms? I stay calm because I remember they don't know I know this trick. I put on a little mask and say, okay, this is a fucking robbery! Today I went to go see Billie Eilish at Coachella, but before she came on, there was this dude wearing a big sparkly onesie who opened for her that kept staring at me, and I was thinking to myself, what's up, do you have a staring problem, buddy? But anyways, he did a little dancey dance thing, and Shrek was in the audience and seemed to love it. But his cameraman kept getting in the way and then turned to me, and the next thing I knew, rewind that. He put me on the big screen, and I freaked out and went behind the cameraman and started unplugging random cables from his camera, and it turned off the video on the screen. But anyways, then Billie Eilish came on and kept invading my personal space and staring at me, and I was like, dude, celebrities never get taught that staring is rude? Why are you yelling at me? But then she did her little dancey dance and left the stage, and I took a golf cart home from Coachella, and when I woke up the next morning, I checked my phone to see a DM from Billie herself asking if I was at her show with a winky face, and I replied, no, silly Billie, here's a restraining order, leave me alone. And I went back to bed. I was collecting celebrities' DNA at Coachella from leftover water bottles on the ground and waiting outside their makeup trailers until they left so I could see if they left behind any DNA on cans or bottles. Because I wanted to try cloning them, because my rich uncle cloned his dog 3 times and now he has 4 little Sparkies because that's legal for some reason. But anyways, I managed to get this can from Post Malone's trailer as well as a bloody tissue. And when I got back from the festival, I carefully swabbed the DNA and preserved it with isoamyl alcohol and then went back to the website that my uncle used. But I remembered it's like a war crime to clone humans. But I thought I could sneak some Post Malone DNA into the test kit and pretend it's a dog to see what happens. And a few weeks later, I got a call from the United Nations Human Rights Department. But last time I fell for something like that, it was when I got an email saying that I was discovered to be the new Prince of India, and all they needed was my social security number. And then it turns out they were scammers and illegally changed my last name to Dover, Ben Dover. Anyways, I have a live feed of the little embryos as they grow. Look at little baby Post Malone. Goo goo gaga, goo 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 gaga gaga. I woke up at 4 a.m. to borrow some of my roommate's peanut butter today, but when I opened it up, I saw he's been scooping it out the jar in a really strange way, which is really inefficient because there's just more surface area for it to dry out. But anyways, I wanted to make a peanut butter and spray cheese sandwich, but I felt like it needed some raspberries, so as I was taking the bread out of the fridge, I knocked out the raspberries. But I believe in the 5-minute rule instead of the 5-second rule, so I scooped them up and assembled my delicious sandwich, and I added the raspberries and a nice little squirt of easy cheese, and then I took a big old bite, but I started feeling really funny, and I thought I was having an allergic reaction to the peanut butter. But then I remembered the raspberries were not exactly the freshest, and I just ate an ounce of them. So I grabbed my computer and tried to call poison control, but they were closed because of Thanksgiving. And I was like, damn, I'm really gonna puke my guts out because some white dudes wanted to have a feast after a mass genocide in 1621. So anyways, I decided I should probably write my will. And I opened up my notes app and said all my money in my plant collection and my life-size Zendaya cardboard cutout will go to my dog. Thank you and goodbye forever, I guess. Remember on New Year's Eve when we were all excited for 2020 to start, and then World War II almost started, and we were like, okay, that's the worst thing that's gonna happen this year. And then Australia walked in and said, you know what? I am gonna light on fire. And then immediately after that, we lost Kobe. And we're like, okay, that's enough for this year. But it wasn't, because then someone coughed. And the next thing you know, 6 million people were coughing. And then anything that ever brought anyone joy was canceled. And then after that, we were like, okay, this is too much. I would like to go to bed for the rest of the year. And then boom, murder hornets arrive in North America. Oh, what's that? That's just NASA discovering alternate universes that apparently exist now. And that thing in the sky? Oh yeah, that's an asteroid that almost wiped out humanity. Which at this point wouldn't be a bad thing. Oh yeah, the government also confirmed that they found UFOs, you know, as a little treat. And the year isn't even done yet. It's literally June. Like, what's gonna happen now? If you want to see my accurate prediction of what's gonna happen the rest of the year, the link to the YouTube video is in my bio. I woke up today and decided to go to Claire's to get my ear pierced because I saw they're doing it free if you give them your organs. So I walked in and I picked my piercing and then signed away the rights to my kidneys. And then they marked the ear that I wanted pierced, and then boom, they legally stabbed me. But anyways, I went home and I was so excited to take off my mask and see it, and they had pierced the mask string into my ear hole! And I started freaking out, of course, and needed to get it off. So I tried finding pliers or something, but I grabbed scissors and used them to cut the mask off so it doesn't rip my ear off. And then I looked in the mirror and I thought, maybe it looks cool. But it didn't. So I grabbed my computer to try and find the Claire's customer service line so I can sue them. But they closed at 6 p.m. and it was 6:30. So I went to bed and cried myself to sleep. And when I woke up, oh, it was infected. So now I think my ear is gonna fall off in 2 to 5 business days. So please let me know what music I should listen to before I have one ear left.
Mom! What? I want a bowl of chili. Okay. What is this? It's chili.
Hey guys, please disregard the fact that I'm currently dressed as a Minion nun. But look, it's the school they filmed Victorious at. Thank you. So there was this guy on the train today who offered me 100 bananas if I gave him a foot massage with mustard. I didn't do it, obviously, and I'll take a lie detector test to prove it. Okay, I did not give a foot massage to a random person. No! You're gonna give me the bananas, right?